So you're thinking about moving to the Woodlands, Texas, or maybe you just have questions about the Woodlands, Texas. Well, I'm going to give you 5 facts, 5 truths about the Woodlands that you need to know as a buyer that are really important. This town is absolutely beautiful. I live here myself in the College Park area. I love it here. It's got amenities galore, beautiful trees, and all the stuff you've heard about. But there are some important things you need to know as a buyer before you make that journey over here to the Woodlands. But before we go any further, my name's Jared Fikes. I'm with eXp Realty. I'm your Houston, Texas real estate agent. I put these videos on every single week. So if you like them and you want to get more like this, hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on a single one. All right, let's get to these 5 points. The first one, and I think it's a natural segue from where I'm at right now, is we need to go straight to the Villages. We need to talk about the Villages. The Woodlands is very unique in that it's comprised of these villages. So you have your 9 main villages, and then you have like a bonus, like East Shore. Okay, East Shore is going to be kind of a bonus. It's not technically one of the villages, but we'll get to that here in just a second. So like I said, 9 villages, plus you have East Shore. Each of these are going to have kind of their own character. And excuse me, I've got a lot of notes. There's a lot of notes over here. If you see me looking off, I want to make sure I get you as much information as possible. So just so you know. So what I want you to know about these villages is that if you're moving here, you need to know, because you need to know about the individual characteristics of each of these villages. Today, I'm going to give you a brief summary of each one. But if you have any questions about it, of course, you can reach out to me. My contact information is below, and we can talk about that. So what I want to talk about is these 9 villages in East Shore. So we're going to start with Grogan's Mill. Grogan's Mill is incredibly beautiful. It is the original village here. 1974, George Mitchell, they started building in here, and it was such a huge development and such a wonderful vision that he had, him and his wife. And I tell you, I'm enjoying all the fruits of his labors from years ago. But Grogan's Mill has those mature trees. It's close to I-45 in the town center. The homes range from like a modest. So this one village has his kind of vision. It really does. It's the best picture of it, in my opinion. So you have your modest homes that, that he was trying to go for, where anybody could come, whether it be the modest, starter home all the way up to, an extremely luxurious home. So that's what Grogan's Mill has got going for it. And that was George Mitchell's vision when he first started. Okay, so you have that over there. Beautiful, beautiful village. Okay, now we're going to talk about Panther Creek. This is one of my favorite villages. They've got really beautiful homes. It's central. It's wrapped around Lake Woodlands. It's home to one of my favorite restaurants ever, Republic Grill. And if you're ever in the Woodlands, make sure you stop at Republic Grill. You will not be disappointed, and I'm not getting paid to tell you that. But it's a mix, right? So you have some waterfront, some golf adjacent properties, great village, and that's all I'll say about that. And we're going to move on because I've got quite a few to talk about. Cochran's Crossing, also centrally located, great village. It's home to the Palmer Golf Course, which is fantastic. It's very established. It's one of the original villages, very, very established. Strong schools. And then also it has great trail access. It's one of the better villages with awesome trail access. I will say the Woodland has interlocking trails. One of the best master plan communities with interlocking trails all over. I haven't seen anything even close to that. So regardless of whether you're in Cochran's or wherever you are, they have awesome trails everywhere. You could literally walk from one end to the other through the trail system. It's amazing. Okay, and then we have Indian Springs. This is more of a tucked away vibe to it. It's more secluded, it's smaller. They do have custom homes, traditional homes back there. It's quiet. It's not to say that any other villages are not, but this is kind of like in my opinion, that's how I see Indian Springs that way. It's a little bit more quiet. Alden Bridge, huge village. Amazing. They have some of the coolest neighborhoods back there. Cottage Green with, Woodlands, like I said, it's got something for everybody. They've got Cottage Green within Alden Bridge. This is just one highlight I wanted to rest on for a minute, but those houses are like craftsman style, like traditional with the front porches, beautiful, like you see in a Hollywood movie somewhere, gas lanterns in the front yard. and you can get all of that here in the Woodlands. You can get that, you can get custom, you can get all the stuff, and it's absolutely phenomenal. But I wanted to mention that, so that's just one example of what the Woodlands can offer. Is, you know, you can actually find craftsmen here. And so, okay, so Alden Bridge, 90s to the 2000s, and then they stopped. A lot of retail, a lot of like great schools. Actually, Alden Bridge backs all the way up to like Magnolia. I used to live in Magnolia, so Alden Bridge almost all the way into Magnolia there. And so to the newer section of Magnolia. No, we call it newer Magnolia. But okay, so that's all I have to say about that one. And we're gonna move on to Sterling Ridge. Sterling Ridge, okay, western edge of the Woodlands. Sold properties in this particular village. It is gonna be more upscale, more luxurious. The lots are gonna be bigger. It's got a lot going for it. And I want to hit on this before I move on. So Sterling Ridge, that particular village includes Carlton Woods. Carlton Woods is, you know, arguably the most luxurious neighborhood, most upscale neighborhood in the Woodlands, Texas. Over here in this amazing master plan community. It is they have a custom, actually it was a golf player, a pro golf player that designed the golf course back there, and I will talk about that in another video later, but that's just a side note. Beautiful golf course, absolutely stunning, and the homes back there are no less impressive. They have very, you know, big homes, luxurious modern homes. You got Spanish rooftops and whatever you want to get back there, whatever your flavor is, but there's some beautiful, gorgeous homes back there on the much higher end of things. So if you're looking for that, Woodlands has got that as well. Okay, so we have College Park. That's where I'm at. College Park is home to, I'll say first, it's on the north. I would say it's on the northeastern edge of the Woodlands. Okay, and then. It's Harper's Landing is included within this, and it's also home to Lone Star College. Lone Star College is one of the best community colleges in the state. So if you're someone like myself, I went to this division, the Montgomery division of Lone Star right here. Actually, it's minutes from where I'm at, and saved a lot of money before I went off to Sam Houston State. And you can get a great start there. You can do your first 2 years there if that's what you want, or you can take courses there. But it's right here. It's a great college, great community college. And that's available here. So obviously you have great homes, you have the medical district. I can't talk enough about the medical district because they have senior living around here too. Not that that's the only people that need that, but there's a lot of 55 plus communities, or at least several 55 plus communities in the Woodlands that are, and then you have the St. Luke's, you have Methodist, you have Memorial Hermann. All these hospitals are top notch and they're all right here. So they brought, instead of having to travel all the way to Houston, you got it right here. So great place. Creekside Park, that's one of the newest sections, or is the newest part of the Woodlands, started in 07. That's part of Harris County and Tomball ISD. The rest of them are Conroe ISD. And so you're gonna go to like Tomball High School and stuff like that. But you got, I mean, it's not a disadvantage because Tomball ISD is ranked fairly high as well. So Tomball ISD and over here in the schools in the Woodlands, they're all pretty well ranked. So I don't think that's a huge disadvantage there. And you also have, as far as like the homes and things like that, they're going to be more modern. This area is going to be a little bit different than the Woodlands, the other villages, in the sense that it's going to have less like really big, tall, mature trees. It's a little bit more open. The whole vibe of the town is a little bit more modern. You're going to have Rob Fleming Park, one of the best parks in the Woodlands there. I mean, there's almost like a water park over there in that over there, real close by. It's absolutely phenomenal. And then you have Creekside Park Village Green, which I went there recently. It's awesome place to go hang out. And then after this, you have the town center. I want to talk about town center is kind of like downtown of the Woodlands, I guess. And it's a great hub. It's got condos, townhomes, shopping and dining. The waterway, you're close to the waterway, which they've got trolleys. I say trolleys, but like little boats that'll take you to and fro on the waterway system. Absolutely beautiful. If you've never been here and you ever get a chance, come on by. There's so much to do and see. You have Market Street. Can't say enough about Market. It's been here for a while, but you've got, Gucci and all these like other shops that they've put in now. So it's very upscale luxury shopping. You've got Tommy Bahama's and other upscale restaurants. You got all sorts of things. You got the Central Market HEB right behind that. It's just absolutely phenomenally convenient for the residents here. And then you have, Pavilion. And then I want to talk about the last bonus, because I do need to move on because I don't want to take too much of your time, but I want to talk about East Shore. East Shore is, it's not necessarily a village, but it is more of a garden district. We call it around here, a luxury garden district. And it's on Lake Woodlands. So you have custom homes, townhomes, you have gated sections in there. It's highly walkable to the town center. So I think you'd really enjoy that if that's the kind of lifestyle that you're looking for. So like I said, they have something for everybody here, something for everybody. Okay, so I want to move on to point number 2, truth number 2. Schools depend on where you live. Okay, so I think I just touched on that, but Conroe ISD, most of the Woodlands is in Conroe ISD. So you're gonna go to Woodlands High School, College Park, and other schools located right here in the Woodlands area. And then, but if you're in Creekside Park now, even though that is a village, you're gonna get zoned to Tomball ISD. But like I said before, fret not, Tomball ISD is amazing. They have lots of great schools and a phenomenal high school and all that kind of stuff, at least in my opinion. And so just remember too, boundaries can split within the same village. So always verify your school that you're gonna put your children in. So if you have your eyes set on a certain school, make sure that you know specifically where they're gonna be going based on where you're living. Obviously, if you get with me like a professional like myself, I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna find out exactly where your child will be attending school at your desired location. So you don't have to worry about that. Of course, I can help you. If you have any other questions, you can reach me. My number's in the description below. We can talk more about that. But okay, so I wanna move on to truth number 3. But before I do that, I put out videos like this every single week. And I did want to say that because I don't want you to miss the next one. I've got another video like this coming out here. I think I'm actually doing it next week. So you don't want to miss that. I don't want you to miss any of the content that I put out. I do these just for you guys so that you can have information about this local area, so you can have information about new builders that are building in this area, and then you can be on the up and up. And I want all of that information going to you, and I want you to receive it. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe so you don't miss a single video that I'm putting out. Okay, so I want to talk about truth number 3. Truth number 3 is in fact that the Woodlands is not actually a city. A lot of people think that, even across the nation, they think the Woodlands is a city. Even some locals think it's a city, but it's actually not. Many assume the Woodlands is incorporated, but it's not a city. It's a special purpose district. It's governed by a 7-member board of directors, and that's gonna be your township here. So we're under a township, okay? They provide fire services, parks and recreation, trash pickup, covenant enforcement, and community events. Now, they do have very strict rules around here. You've got to have permission to cut a tree down in your own backyard. And that's why they've had such strict rules for so many years. And the residents like it, actually, even though it's a little bit strict, is because it's kept this place so special and so beautiful for so long. And so I just wanted to hit on that really quickly. The roads and law enforcement and things like that, those are governed and done by the counties. Of course, they cooperate with the township and all that kind of stuff, but that is done by the counties. This is not technically an HOA. There are some neighborhoods in some areas within the Woodlands that actually have the township tax or your yearly township property tax assessment plus your HOA fee. Not everywhere, but I'm just going to talk about the township property tax assessment right now. And that's right now, it's currently 0.1714 per $100 of your value. So whatever your house is, so just do the math, 300,000, and then you can do the math. But that's basically what that is. And I'll have I'll put the township websites and everything below in the description, so you can go peruse and get that information directly from the source. But you need to verify that, and I'm going to verify that. So whenever working together. If you decide to move here, I would be honored to help you. Just reach out to me. I'd be honored to help you. I definitely can. I've sold and helped people buy and sell in here a long time. But I would love to help you do that. But before you do that, it's good to know information like, what those rates are and stuff like that. Okay, so the Woodlands, I think I've touched on this a little bit, but it spans 2 counties, Montgomery and Harris County. Okay, a lot of it, most of it is in Montgomery County, but some of it is in Harris County. Like you have like Creekside over there, a lot of that, most of that is in Harris County, like I said before, and Tomball ISD and all that. But like a good bulk, a good majority of the Woodlands here is Montgomery County, which everybody loves Montgomery County, but that doesn't make Creekside a bad village to move into just because it's in Harris County. I want to say that. Okay, so it also overlaps with nearby municipalities. I can't even talk. Municipalities and zones like Shenandoah and Oak Ridge. Okay, I argue with my wife about this all the time. They're technically not part or the Woodlands, right? But they're like, they border the Woodlands. So I've always just called Shenandoah and Oak Ridge part of the Woodlands. And she gets so frustrated with me because they are their own entity. They're their own separate city. They have their, own stuff. But they border the Woodlands, and you have the Conroe ETJ, like northern sections close to Conroe, also, and then Spring, Texas. So Spring, Texas, you're going to see that in Creekside Park. Mailing addresses often like they'll show Spring, and actually you might see that in other areas as well in the Woodlands. But all of that is township governed. Residents have, this is an important fact. So over the years, residents have chosen to stay with the township model rather than allowing the Woodlands to be incorporated into the city. And so they didn't want that. They wanted to stick with the township model. And I think I know why. I think I hit on that earlier. They want it to stay the way it is. It's a special place. And if you've been all over the place, there's nowhere else like the Woodlands. It really is special. So and I think that's why that's been voted on so many times. Number 4, property taxes are layered and can be a bit of a shock sometimes. So you have your total tax bill equals your county, your school district, your township, and in some areas, the MUD. What is a MUD? A MUD is I'm losing my talking again. I can't talk. Municipal Utility District. I'm used to just saying MUD. For short, but they fund water, sewer, and drainage. And so they're going to have their own fees. And so like newer areas like Creekside Park, places like that, they have higher MUDs because it's a newer area. And so they haven't, that bond or whatever hasn't been paid down. I believe it's the bond that hasn't been paid down. And then older areas equal lower MUD. So like a lot of that stuff has already been paid down. So it's kind of like retired MUDs. So you're not going to pay it. Maybe it used to be a MUD, but you're not going to pay that anymore. Okay. So, and then I want to hit on something. 2 homes at the same price can be a difference of hundreds of dollars of difference. I mean, that is a fact. I mean, I've seen it a bunch of times in here. So you might have one house in Creekside, one house over in a different village, and they're totally different. They're totally different prices per month. And it's basically similar house, similar, amenities and all the stuff you would account for in value, but it's the MUD. It's the MUD and stuff like that can change that monthly cost. So don't let that take you by surprise. It's good to know these things up ahead of time. Homestead exemption. This can usually be filed the same year that you purchase. Deadline is May 1st with your appraisal district. Okay, so I want to talk about truth number 5. You're buying a lifestyle, not just a house, not just a home. Okay. And I want to land here. I want this to be one of the final points. I've got one more bonus point, but I want to talk about this for a minute. The Woodlands is really special, and I know I've said that a million times, and I can't say it enough. There's people that move all over the place, just from all over, just to get here, just to move here, because there's something really special about it. You have the Woodlands Mall. You have one of the best amphitheaters in the country right here in the Woodlands, Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion. You have Market Street. You have restaurants galore. You have lakeside restaurants, retail. You have all these unique villages with their own unique touches and vibes going on. And it's just a really special, it's centered around nature with all the trees. It's a really special community. I mean, I literally could shout it on the mountaintops. It is something really special. And that's why so many people come from even all over the world to be here, to live here and experience this. But I want to talk about, so I've talked about that, but I want to talk about that they have 150 plus parks, 220 miles of trails, 220 miles of trails. Like I talked about before, it's an incredible interlocking trail system, 4,400 acres of open space. Unbelievable. And then you have my top 3 favorite parks: North Shore Park, Rob Fleming Park, and Aquatic Center. I'm going to talk about that in here in a second. And then Bear Branch and their sports fields. Okay, so North Shore Park, I talked about that earlier. And let me, I could stay on this park all day. It's absolutely beautiful. You'll go out there sometimes seeing the rowing teams from the high school out there rowing. They're launching their rowboats. It's a really expansive, beautiful park. Lots of places to have picnics, covered places, and as you can see, and it's just absolutely stunning. Okay, and so I absolutely love the, they do community events out there. They do concerts. I mean, I could go on and on about that park, North Shore. It's amazing. But we'll talk about Rob Fleming real quick. Rob Fleming is over there in Creekside. Unbelievably beautiful pavilion with a fireplace. I've actually seen and been to weddings out there, and it is beautiful enough to do a wedding. I can attest to that. There's an aquatic center out there, and when they say aquatic center, this is like a mini water park. They've got a lazy river, full-blown slides. I mean, it is absolutely stunning aquatic center. And so you basically have these trails, you have water parks, you have all these special things. So Rob Fleming Park and Aquatic Center is amazing. And then the last one I'll talk about is Bear Branch. Bear Branch is awesome. I live really close to Bear Branch, which I'm really thankful for. They have everything. So it's on 2 sides of the road, right? 2 sides off of Research. And so you're on one side of the road, you have your basketball courts, your skate park, I believe. You have a tennis courts, you have inline skate, like a hockey rink type thing. I mean, the list goes on and on. You got amazing pool over there with a splash pad for the babies. I mean, just amazing. And then you have those basketball courts that me and my son play on all the time. I love it. I love that. And then they have indoor basketball courts for leagues and stuff that I believe you get signed up with those through the Township. So much. And then if you leave there, if that's not enough already, you go to the other side of the road, and they have these like phenomenal soccer fields and sports fields, and that's filled up all the time with leagues. So, but if they're not filled up, you can go over there. I used to play ultimate frisbee over there with some younger folks. I don't know if I could do it anymore. I'm in my 40s now, but there's plenty of space, and I believe they have even a disc golf course over there as well. So there's so much going on in these 3 parks. That's just 3, all right, out of the 150 plus. There's smaller ones, there's medium-sized ones. These are some of the larger ones I mentioned. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. I could go on and on, but the anchors are like Lake Woodlands, the Golf and Country Clubs, Market Street, Hughes Landing, a lot of modern grocery shopping there, like nothing, like Whole Foods. You got there Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion. There's the list goes on and on and on. And so if you're a buyer looking, I mean, yeah, it's a great place to live. I mean, is there some negatives? There's negatives everywhere, but I think the positives far outweigh the negatives. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you this bonus point like I talked about. This one's really important. It's as important as the rest of the stuff I discussed, especially if you're moving here, considering moving here. The commute reality depends on your location within the Woodlands. Okay, so Villages near I-45, 242, Grogan's Mill, College Park, stuff like that. You're gonna have a lot quicker time to go to Houston. Creekside Park, that's over by 99, which by the way, I love 99. That takes you all over the place. It's a great tollway. You can also get to Houston pretty fast from 99. Once you get on there, you hop on there, and the interlocking other freeways get you there pretty quick. It is farther from I-45 though, being back in Creekside Park. Even within the Woodlands, I want to note as well. Let's say you're coming from the front of the Woodlands and you're trying to get to the back of the Woodlands, closer in, almost to Magnolia or nearly in Magnolia. That's going to take you 20, 25 minutes. You're going to have lights, you're going to have cars, you're going to have all this stuff. So it's a big beautiful, I can't say that enough. Beautiful master plan community, but it does take a while to get sometimes to the back, depending on traffic as well. So 20, 25 minutes. Sometimes you might be less depending on how fast you put the pedal to the metal, but I say go the speed limit though. That's the safest route, right? But anyways, all right, well, test your drive. I always say, go to where you want to live, go there at night, go there in the afternoon, and go there in the morning. And maybe even go during like height peak, like where people are driving to work, or maybe when they're coming home. And then you're going to get the full commute cycle, and you're going to see, okay, well, now I understand where and how people are driving around here. I understand like about how long it takes to get here and there. Yeah, and then that's going to give you a lot more. That's going to give you that missing piece of the puzzle that you need in order to make your decision. So, but in my opinion, wherever you live in the Woodlands, it's a doable commute wherever you are in the Woodlands. It's really not that bad. But I mean, if you want to be super close, there's options for that, and there's things that are available to make that happen. So, all right, that's your 5 truths plus your bonus about the Woodlands, Texas. All right, well, I want to remind you that my name is Jared Fikes. I'm with eXp Realty. I'm your Houston, Texas real estate agent. Look, I put these videos on every single week just for you. Ones like this that are very informative about my local town, about local towns all around here, as well as property tours and other things I'll be putting out every single week. I do them every week just for you. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss a single video. Buyers, if you need help, I will literally help you. If you're coming from out of state, I'll help you coordinate a plane and a hotel somehow. We'll get all that worked out so you can get here, and I will help you get to know my beloved Woodlands much more. I would be happy to take you all over town and get you acquainted with this beautiful place I get to call home. What a blessing it is. But if you need help, if you're local, I don't care if you're local, whatever you are, give me a call, shoot me an email. My information is going to be right here. And I would be happy to connect with you and serve you and help you get into your dream home in this beautiful place called the Woodlands, Texas. Or if you're looking somewhere else, I would be happy to help you here in the Houston area. Well, look, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. It's an honor to put these on for you. It really is a blessing. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next one.